Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cloudy Sheep and we are playing Rule the Waves. We are playing as the US and we won a war against France, which is of course very lovely, but in the aftermath of that our budget was somewhat decreased and we are struggling to build enough ships. In fact, we are doing okay in battleships. We do currently have two of these. The California class ships over here, California and Colorado, with a peculiar gun layout, but overall 10-11 inch guns which can be used in a broadside, and we are furthermore constructing the Nevada class with a high caliber but only 8 guns that can fire towards either side. Our president has always also pushed us to build a couple more cruisers because our heavy cruisers really aren't up to the job anymore, and I got to admit that that is very true. And in fact we don't have any battle cruisers so far, whereas other nations are starting to build that. Other than that though, we are renovating or refurbishing a couple of our ships. The Tacoma class we refurbished to carry some mines, we are getting some new destroyers. Most of our other ships are more or less outdated. We do have still a couple of battleships kicking around, but they are mothballed or in reserve. We do have a couple of heavy cruisers, but all of these are kind of weird, especially these guys, which I don't know what to do with anymore. I think that actually means that I can put all of these guys to be in mothballed situation and free up a bit more funding at least. Then we do have light cruisers of the Des Moines class, which are okay, but I would consider them obsolete because their speed isn't really sufficient to scout ahead anymore, but they might still be used full as raiders or something along these lines. And a good number of different destroyers. I think we have three different classes of destroyers, more or less outdated by the game standard, but you know, they still carry torpedoes, they're still pretty fast. So they might do some damage, and we're going to keep them around for that purpose. Nevertheless, we are also building new destroyers that can also carry mines, more torpedoes, are a bit faster and just generally better. Right then, let's take the next turns and then see what we get. Ratings, savings on the hull, that's always nice to see. The ships finishing their reconstruction, torpedo technology advancing. So here we go. We should now see that there are some light cruisers and that are in fact of the Tacoma class with carrying mines, carrying a good number of guns. So all of that seems to be doing very, very nicely. They are of course more expensive than what we have so far, but that's fine. Also a lot faster. LM. What's LM? Why is it M? Why does it say M? Never seen that, I think. Interesting. I have no idea. It's not because of reliability. Oh well, I just know. Okay, it's probably because of the mine lane capability. Never mind. Yeah. Not sure whether that makes sense under speed, but it's there. So there's that. Good. Still, we don't have fantastic amount of monthly balance, so the prestige suffers. Should have done something. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, implicitly we got the hint earlier, but I didn't act on it, so it's kind of my fault. But with this monthly balance, I don't think we can do a lot about it. A regional war seems imminent in South America. One of our major arms manufacturers wants to step up exports to the likely belingerings. Should we decrease tensions? Or should we increase our budget and tensions? You know what I'm going to do. Increase budget, drive up tensions with a couple of people. But that's fine. That and in the concept of superheater. And so that. Base fuses is okay. Let's make sure we get the research right. So the immediate projectile research I think we can reduce somewhat because that's not necessarily quite as important. Naval guns 4-inch, I think it's okay to keep that on medium. I would like to get so some important aspects would be to get the gas turbine boilers and the armor. I'm not sure whether it's under armor development or under ship design, but the all or nothing ship design is something that the US has historically developed and which was a very important step. So we'll have to see whether we get there at some point. Germany laying down some battle cruisers, which does mean that Germany is now building potentially they would have 4 ships entirely, 4 heavy ships entirely, 5 for the UK. Russia is also starting, so yeah, we really need to consider building a battle cruiser. So we've 4 destroyers over here. I think it's prudent to build a couple more. So I'm gonna build 4 more of these Paulding class destroyers. That's gonna drive us into the negative slightly, but next turn, or the next 2 turns, a couple of them will be finished, so I think that's fine. And then we will be ready to do that. Ships being researched, stuff being done. 7-inch guns are now of better quality. Interesting. Of course I would like the 6-inch guns to be of better quality as well, but we take what we can. So here we go, Paulding class destroyers, good speed, and all that. The Bainbridge over here. The Decatur is still at least fast. 27 knots, 2 torpedoes. Not a lot of guns, but this guy, I'm not sure whether you really have any purpose in our Navy anymore. And we might want to scrap you. But on the other hand, you know, it's just, what, it's like 6 ships. Yeah, so £12,000. $12,000. That doesn't matter too much, I think. Yeah, we'll keep them around. We'll keep them around, that should be fun. So the next turn, yes, 2 more ships. Do we want to risk giving technology to anyone else? I don't think so. More budget is always nice, but in fact I think we can do without it, and you know, what's the point of having more budget if we're facing more potent enemies? Right then, here we go. So a couple more months left till all of these ships come into service. We are running a positive balance of about 1 million, which will not be enough to design our battlecraft. Lexington, was it? Yes. So this is a design for the Lexington class battlecruiser that we thought about earlier. It would have a decent speed, much quicker than any, or at least roughly the same speed that that was us. 25 knots, 25 knots. I think these guys were 26. Yes, 26. So Russia has 2 26. Jesus, look at that. 8 13-inch guns. 8 13-inch guns, which will all be able to fire in a broadside. 26 knots, but paper thin armor. So yeah, I think ours might be a bit better. Anyway, 26 knots, that's what's there to beat. So we would like to get slightly faster than that. We would in fact like to carry some weapons, please. I'm not sure why that is sometimes deleted. Yeah, looks good like that. Okay. There we go. Why are we so well within our range? Okay, because we want to be in fact low and reliable, and that does push us down way too hard. There's also something to be said to take slightly better guns. What's the actual change in the capabilities of these guns? So, range of 11,000, range of 13,000. But I do think that the 6-inch guns are of a much higher rate of fire. So probably still it's a better quality gun. Anyway, and torpedo defenses actually need to be increased as well. So yeah, the rate remaining here is really not great. And it would be 3 million a month to build up. So we don't really have that capability anyway. So yeah, let's save up our money and see that we do it better once we. There we go. We can build bigger ships now. There's been a rebellion in the German possession of Kiautschou Bay, which I think is China. What do you recommend? We should the rebels to create trouble for Germany, as an interest of all nations that the conflict is resolved peacefully, or help Germany rid the rebels. I think, in fact, it does make sense to increase tensions with Germany here. Fleet tactics, nice to see. And the reason for that is Germany doesn't have that many colonies. Some around there, some in Africa, Togo, I believe, Cameroon, Southwest Africa, Tonga, whatever, and some in Asia. But most importantly, what I would really like is in fact Kiautschou Bay. The reason why I'd like Kiautschou Bay is because firstly it would allow us to move stuff from the west coast over there to our own bases here without suffering attrition in this field. More importantly, if we have fleet basing capability here, we can place ships in this field and block off Japan much more easily than we would otherwise be able to. So yeah, taking one of these colonies, it would be a very nice thing for us. And so actually we might want to increase our spying on Germany to high, because that would allow us to do much more damage to them. We do have some monthly balance over here, so I think it would be very prudent for us to build a fort in Algeria. Algeria we conquered from the French in the last war. It does have a couple of ports, and having ports is nice because that will allow us to operate in this hex. Do the same with Austria-Hungary and Japan Italy as with Japan. So that would be nice. So we are going to build a fort of 7-inch coastal battery, because that is of high quality, in Algeria. Over there. Yes, not that expensive. 4 million still, but yeah, we want to build that. Good. Let's take a turn. In Italy. I have no problem with Italy. Let's exchange technology with Italy. 10 quality control on armor, savings, nice. Unexpected advances in basic shells, explosive shells, that's always good to see. Gradual shifts, nice to see, but not that critical. About a half a year since a couple of jobs finish, and at that point we'll probably want to build the battle cruisers. So I think that's fine. We might want to increase, in fact, our research spending a bit again, and put naval guns on high priority, because I do hope that we're getting better quality guns rather than higher calibers. More dockside is always very nice to see. Some baffling, that's not good. Okay. International upheaval in Cuba. If we can send an expeditionary force, there's a chance that we can take it over as a colony. However, this may well increase international tensions. And of course, Cuba is basically our home zone, so yes. Okay, so Russia was the first, which is not nice. Let's see, did they actually... Yes, they actually scored this place. Not nice of them. How are our colonial cruisers looking, by the way? Yeah, you're doing okay. Russia. Who knew? Do we want to dial it down a bit in general then? Yeah, I think it's okay to dial down. Same with Russia. If we can take over any of these colonies, that's fine and fair enough for me. And they'd be in fact massively disadvantaged to get a fleet up here, because historically that's been not that easy for them. Let's take the turn. Yes. Ships being commissioned. Strengthen and lessen tensions, but the money will take over the budget. Yes, I think we will be able to support that. Prestige. Yeah, prestige is always good. And reduce tensions. I mean, flexible class. Okay, that I think is a new one, isn't it? Nope, it's in fact what they do have already. So where do we stand overall? 4 battleships in the UK. 6 ships total? Yeah, we'll have to see. We are in a good balance, and some of these holdings are finishing up now. I think that's... yeah, they're working out, starting to do their thing. Yeah, so the M is in fact a my capability thing. No, still don't think. Ooh, so Kichabe has now declared independence. That's very interesting, because that means that over there this thing will probably flip to neutral at the end of, or when that refreshes. But until now, there's another round of fighting broken out in the Balkans. What is your view? Again, some of these events are a bit more geared towards Europe, but nevertheless, you know, August 9/11, that's probably appropriate. It's deplorable, so that would increase tensions, it would increase tensions, or it would increase tensions with someone specifically. And we do know who we want to blame over here, because Russia has in fact some bases that we want over there, and they basically took over Cuba, which we cannot allow, so definitely we'll put it on Russia. Okay, things are developing. It looks like we might get into war at some point, so it might be worthwhile taking a couple of these guys out of a mothballed situation and at least put them back to reserve status. But we'll have to see. Next month our first battleship will finish. Can we accelerate this? Yes, that would be... I'm going to accelerate that. That's 400... Let's do the math on this. So it's 400,000 more, but we do skip one turn. So 400,000 for 5 turns, that's 2 million. That in fact means we might be saving a bit here. So, unless I'm really mistaken, but I don't think so. So yeah, that's good. But there might be some events tied to that that would balance that out, so we'll have to see. Anyway, yeah, budget is okay. Next turn, coastal battery in Algeria. We didn't tell you to spy, but it's good to know, I guess. 12 6-inch guns, 10 4-inch guns. Bet 26 knots, so yeah, I understand the decisions behind that. Baffled by some armor problems. Double torpedo mount. Interesting. So that could be a new development for our destroyers in the future, which I think means that we will not be able to, or would not want to build any more cruisers, destroyers under that parameter. Over here that seems to be fine, and the Tuscan is going to finish next turn. We do now have quite a bit of monthly balance, so let's revisit the Lexington. Let's again add the turrets that the game insists on removing over here. And again back to the parameters that we want, i.e. a reliable engine with a long range, with good torpedo defenses, at least 12 caliber main guns. Yeah, that looks all fantastic. I don't think it's viable to do this. Yep, nope. We could do that on a battleship, but not apparently on this ship. Again, I'm not too willing to sacrifice any of that. We can use oil fire to bring it down really to viable range, and we can increase, in fact, the nominal weight of that by a bit. So I think it definitively does make sense to build the biggest possible ship that you can. We'll probably not get by using 14 caliber guns, didn't think so, but that's fine. We can use slightly more ammo, that's fine. That's looking good actually. So let's confirm. It has a long range, it has a speed that would beat the battlecruisers of any other nation, and it has reliable engines at that, which does increase the weight, but it will mean they break down less often. It's fueled by oil, which is okay. It does have good torpedo defenses, a good gun layout, some secondary guns. So all of this I like very much. What we could do now is either with the remaining 400 tons roughly, we want to have some wiggle room to maybe increase the fire control at a later stage, but primarily I think we could either extend our armor, or in fact what we're going to do here is pick 7 caliber guns, because they come in a high quality, and that I think is a very nice choice, because this is a bit of a scout ship, and maybe this will be more helpful at defeating light ships, destroyers and so on. 60 tons. The weight of fire control might increase by 30 tons, so is it worthwhile to set up just 4 of these guns? I don't think so. So let's just pack a bit more ammo. I think that's fine. That's a very good ship. Like it, love it, in fact. Good. Relaxing class battlecruiser. Here we go. Saved. Yes, we want to override it. Yes. We want to build it. Suggested. Yes. In fact, it should be called Lexington. And it will be costing us quite a bit to develop it, but now here we go. So 30 month time we will have it ready. Let's briefly think about how much. So it's 50 million, it's 500,000 more over 27 months, so 10%. Yeah, so it's not worthwhile to do it. I think we want to spend our money on other things as well. But we do have one battlecruiser in the build queen now, and that's what I very much like to see. Also, we do have the Nevada and the California now, so that too is very, very lovely. Lastly, I think we are not entirely done with heavy cruisers. Heavy cruisers, I mean, let's look at what the UK is doing. Your latest heavy cruiser comes from the year 1905 and is a design with 4 8-inch guns and 5 bell pumps. So it's pretty old actually. You're not building any new ones, are you? Submarine, I think. Light cruisers. Yeah, you're not building that much stuff. Some fireworks in the background. Don't be irritated for that, please. Yeah, no one is actually building heavy cruisers anymore. I'm not sure that's good because in fact we might want to take a look at an update of the San Diego class over here, which is our colonial cruiser, and so let's see what we got over here. So 2 10-inch guns, okay. with a number of secondary guns, which I think is all legal. It does have a narrow belt. Wait a minute, we want to actually redesign that entirely. As a colonial cruiser, I think that would work, although we really want long range, because we've seen that the range really was one of the issues that the San Diego had. The crew quality is always decreasing this guy if it's long on station, so it's not too great. 10-inch guns I do believe are fine. Can we put you in a configuration with... Nope, we cannot, at least not without a massive debuff. So yeah. Less torpedo coverage than it could have, that's true. We would want to change that probably. The coverage over here, I think it's a bit excessive on the deck, to be honest. It does have more, it spends more on the weight on the deck than on the belt, and it's not a fleet type of thing, so I think it's okay to scrap that a bit. Let's go up here to get better quality guns. Speed 22. I'm tempted to build a large number of these guys. 6 guns on either side. With the remaining weight, let's briefly check what would a forward icon to be. Aft center line superimposed. No, I don't think an aft channel would be okay, or would be required. Turrets to the top could be slightly less secondaries. Yes, we want to have gun shield, belt extended. Let's make this normal though. So this would be an okay update, better secondary guns basically, with a bit less. It is not. It's not. Is it that much better? Does carry a lot of secondary guns, tertiary guns rather, better secondary guns. Normal gun layout is unchanged. The speed is the thing, right? With this speed of 22, we are not... What are we achieving anymore? Let's look at the almanac. Even, let's suppose we are getting in a war with the UK. We can't outrun their battleships. We could outrun their battleships. Just outrun their battleships. Certainly outrun all of their older ships. And have the speed of roughly a better speed than most of these guys. Could we save? Again, yes, if we drop all of our turrets. Stop doing that. Did it drop anything else? I don't think so, right? So that's a massive change. Well, that's a drop over torpedo defenses, long range, landing status. Oh, it didn't have torpedo defenses. On the one hand, I think this would be an okay design. It is a significant upgrade, but is it significant enough to really do this? Probably so. I mean, even the longer range is an important aspect. There's a lot of weight remaining. So I think we could decrease the weight a bit and save a bit. Save some bucks. make it more affordable. Slightly better belt coverage though. Slightly worse deck coverage, but that's fine. Still good conning tower. We dial down on that actually. Yeah, I think this is fine. It's not best ship, but Grey Blow, yeah, good colonial cruiser. So let's check. It's 32.3 million. If we want to have this, then we would be at a million more, roughly 3%. But it would have to be the defenses. Or another million. Even better to be the defenses. I don't think it's that critical, but we still want to have it at all. So, okay, increase size a bit, but do make it overall just better armored, better gunned. That's fine, yeah. Understood? Yes. Let's build one. It's fine. Yes. Yes, we are running a deficit, but the Tuscan should get ready next turn. We will refit it to get some mine rails, but that'll be about it. So let's get to that point. Tuscan is commissioned. There we go. Where is it? And you will be immediately rebuilt to this status over here, and that'll be quick, and it'll still be running a positive amount. And very soon our second battleship will finish over here, and that will probably be the point where we set up another Lexington class. And I think that's going to be very fine. Note that in fact our Lexington class is now costing more than the accelerated New Mexico. What if we go to normal? It's 3 months, so we're saving a bit, cheating the game a bit to be honest, but that's fine. Right then, so yeah, our Battlecruiser is much more expensive than slightly older Nevada class, but yeah, that's the way it is. So, excellent. Thank you guys for watching, and I see you again next time. Bye bye.